Today I'm talking to Walter Mason. Walter has been here on National Bookshop Day and we've been talking about his wonderful travel lit, humorous book, Destination Saigon.
Too kind.
Walter, it gave me an urge that I'd love to go to Vietnam. Tell me some of the reasons why you think I should go.
I think we could say nature, spirituality, food, and the beautiful, beautiful, generous people. People are so kind to me when I'm there. And often people don't have anything in the world and they've got no reason to be interested in me and my journey. And they show so much kindness to me. And it's what I hear from tourists again and again. It's a country which is filled with the most amazing spiritual traditions, the most incredible and very long and proud history, and delicious, delicious food.
Walter, I know also you're doing a PhD. Tell us about what the subject is, because it's fascinating to me.
Well, I'm glad you're fascinated, and I hope my examiner's fascinated. I'm doing a history of self-help books in Australia. So I'm looking at the literature of inspiration and self-improvement, sort of how to win friends and influence people kind of books, from 1895 until now. So it's a long chunk of history, of Australian literary history, and no one's ever looked at it before, and it's so interesting because it tells us what people have been anxious about for all those years. And there are big differences from the 19th century until now, and it's been a really interesting journey for me to chart those differences. Real physical differences in the beginning, real physical interests. People were worried about constipation, they were worried about their glands, they were worried about nervousness. Now people are worried about much more mystical things, much more spiritual things. So it's been a fascinating journey for me, and I secretly hope to turn it into a book when it's all finished. A real book, not just an academic book.
Do you think when they're thinking about mystical things, it's the stress in their life that makes them turn to want to think about mystical things and to turn their life around? Do you think that's the reason?
I think so, Barbara. And I think once upon a time people went to church or they went to their family to answer these big questions, and we don't really do that anymore. And the only place we've got left to go is to books. And so it's really interesting to see. I think books are becoming people's spiritual and moral guides much more than they ever have been before.
That's lovely. I'm very happy about that. Walter, now talking about books, do you have another book in mind to write?
I do indeed. In fact, I'm signed up for another one.
Oh, wonderful.
I've got a book probably going to be called Destination Cambodia, which will be coming out in 2013. So it hasn't actually been written yet. I'm headed off to Cambodia soon to complete it. So I've started it. Cambodia is another country which I have a long and involved history with. It's a place I adore and love and feel so much a part of. And I wanted to sort of record a bit of my own relationship with that country and let people see the depth and the complexity of that country. It's not just one big tragedy, which is the way we think of it. It's a much more fascinating, much more beautiful place than that.
Walter, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.